Welcome to the Greenhorn Travelers channel.
There is a Shiva temple on the Konkan coast where, during the highest tides, the sea washes into the courtyard. Not floods it, washes into it. Gently, as if paying its respects. The temple has stood there since the 12th century, built by the Shilahara-dynasty on a rock shelf so close to the Arabian Sea that on certain days the spray reaches the sanctum itself. Most people who visit Tarkarli never know it exists. It is 60 kilometers up the coast, and it is called Kunkeshwar. September is the month to make this drive. Post-monsoon September in the Konkan occupies a particular and underappreciated window. The rains have eased but not fully withdrawn. The landscape is at the absolute peak of its saturation, every surface running with a green so deep it looks supplied rather than grown. The air is warm and thick. The roads are quiet. The tourist season has not yet started. The scuba boats in Tarkarli are still moored. And the fishermen, who retreated from the sea in June when the monsoon arrived, are only now beginning to venture back out. You are moving through the Konkan at the precise moment between one season and the next, and there is nothing else quite like it. The drive north from Tarkarli follows the coast along State Highway 4. It begins in Malvan. Malvan is the kind of town that functions exactly as it always has, regardless of who is watching. The morning market on the main street runs on a rhythm older than any road that connects it to the rest of Maharashtra. Women sell dried fish and fresh kokum. The coconut sellers work quickly. The smell of chilies and salt and the sea mixes in the air in proportions that feel precisely calibrated. Malvani cuisine, the cooking of this particular stretch of Konkan coast, is built on those three elements: coconut, kokum, and whatever the sea gave up that morning. The version you eat here, at a plastic table in a restaurant that has no reason to impress anyone, is not the version that has traveled to Pune or Mumbai. It is quieter, more direct, less apologetic about its intensity. Past Malvan, the road passes through Achara, which sits on a tidal creek that in September runs full and still and green. Stop on the small bridge and look both ways, inland toward the hills, seaward through the mangroves, and you will understand something about the Konkan that is almost impossible to write down. The landscape here is not dramatic in the way of mountains or canyons. It does not demand attention. It simply accumulates, mile by mile, until somewhere along the road you realize that you have been paying very close attention for quite some time. Then comes Devgad. Devgad is the capital of the Alphonso mango, and if you arrive in September, the harvest is 4 months gone. The packing sheds are quiet. The cold storage units hum to themselves. The orchards that line the approach to town are now just wide canopies of rain-heavy green. But the people here carry the mango economy in their identity in a way that does not switch off between seasons. The orchards are being tended now, in September, for the fruit that will arrive in April. The pruning and fertilizing and the careful management of water are happening right now, quietly, behind the tree line. Devgad also has a fort that almost no one visits. It sits on a rocky headland above the town, and the view from its walls, on a September afternoon when the light comes through cloud and the sea is the color of pewter, is one of the widest and most uncrowded views on the Maharashtra coast. There is no entrance fee. There are no signs. There is a goat path to the top and a ruined bastion at the summit, and from there the Arabian Sea extends to the horizon in 3 directions. From Devgad, the last stretch to Kunkeshwar is the most beautiful section of the whole drive. The road drops closer to the coast, and the sea begins to appear between the trees, appearing and disappearing, appearing again. The fishing settlements here are small and self-contained. The boats are pulled up on the beach. The nets are spread to dry. Nobody is going anywhere urgently. Kunkeshwar village has perhaps a few hundred permanent residents. There is no resort, no beach shack, no signage designed to attract visitors. There is the temple, and there is the sea, and between the two there is a relationship that has been going on for 9 centuries without any input from the tourism industry. The Kunkeshwar temple was built in the 12th century under the Shilahara kings, the same dynasty that shaped much of early medieval Konkan. It is dedicated to Shiva in the form of Kunkeshwar, lord of the Kumkum, the red powder of worship. The stone is dark basalt, worn smooth by salt air and the hands of pilgrims across 900 years. The sanctum is small and cool, and the priests conduct the morning puja with the efficient unhurriedness of people performing a ritual that has been performed every single day for longer than most nations have existed. What no photograph prepares you for is the position of the temple in the landscape. Step outside the inner sanctum and walk to the outer wall, and the Arabian Sea is right there, not 100 meters away, breaking on the rocks below. In September, the sea is still carrying the weight of the monsoon. The waves come in with authority. The sound enters the temple compound and mixes with the bells and the Sanskrit and the smell of camphor smoke, and you cannot determine where the sacred thing ends and the sea begins. Perhaps that has always been the point. The beach immediately north of the temple is empty. Clean white sand, a few egrets at the waterline, the sound of something being hammered on a boat somewhere out of sight. You can walk the length of it in 10 minutes and see no one. That is September on the Konkan coast. Present, unhurried, and entirely indifferent to whether you have noticed it or not. Which is, of course, exactly why it is worth noticing.